Welcome back to Indiana State's Esports. My name is Carter Seifert.
My name is Noel Callahan. Sorry, my headphones just did something weird.
Are you all right?
Everything's fine.
Okay, then.
Yeah,
All
everything's
right.
fine.
Welcome back. Last time we were here for a Rocket League match, the game exploded. And the
It occurred to me, we went 2 weeks in a row without doing a Rocket League match because the week prior to that, they didn't reschedule.
That's true.
And so we were just like, okay, I guess we won by forfeit. So the last time you and I were on a call for Rocket League, we ended up not doing anything. And then last week, the game shut down and exploded and died. So, like...
Right, because of if you didn't know, there was an update last week that happened literally minutes before our game with Missouri State, who we will be starting today with. Or was it Valparaiso? It was Valparaiso.
It was Valparaiso, and it exploded all the servers.
Yes, literally destroyed matchmaking, and you couldn't even make private lobbies, which is exactly how we do games here for the Missouri Valley Conference.
Yeah.
And so now we're actually here back with a game to live stream. We did have a game last week. Our makeup for Valparaiso, we did that off hours.
Friday night. We did it Friday. We were unable to stream it because I lost my voice and everybody else was busy or sick. So.
And I celebrated birth. So.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. The big 2-2 hit double digits.
Wow, you're a whole 2 years older than I am.
Oh. Anyway, it is very good to be back here. Honestly, I'm actually excited that we have a game to commentate over because all I have been able to do is Smash Brothers and Valorant for, like we said, probably since we came back from break.
No, because oh yeah, because that one didn't run.
So anyway, we're honestly, I'd say we're in a good mood today, especially because well, Noel, should we address the elephant in the room?
What's the elephant in the room?
What's currently under my jacket at the moment?
No. Oh my goodness. Okay. So Carter was not supposed to be my person for the day, right? I was supposed to commentate with Tommy. He was on last week and he got sick today, like he wasn't able to come. So Carter is here and Carter was not prepared to be on stream tonight. So he's rocking a green polo, but to you viewers...
I'm going to stand up to give reference point.
Due to our green screen, he looks like the Void.
Literally the exact shade.
The literal exact shade, yeah, of the green screen. So
there is no separation. So, anyway...
That's why there's a jacket on.
Yes. I promise you, I wear business casual literally every day for my schoolwork.
I'm literally wearing a T-shirt and sweatpants right now.
But anyway, genuinely, Noel, I've almost fulfilled everything on my senior bucket list because I've always wanted to wear something that was green screenable on stream.
Okay.
And now I have done so unintentionally.
All right. You know what? Pop off. Go you. Anyway, let's talk about the match tonight. We're going up against Missouri State. We do have a new teammate.
Yes, that is true.
That the Twitch viewers don't know about. So, a week ago?
I believe it was a week and a half ago. Yes.
A week and a half or a weekish ago, we had a Indiana State campus legend join the Rocket League team, which was a big deal. Do you know what his gamer tag is off the top of my head? Off the top of your head?
I don't.
I don't. We'll find that out during a break.
If you are a student at Indiana State University and have used Snapchat in the past 365 days,
yeah,
you know of Dan the Cowboy Man.
Yes, Cowboy Dan.
And we discovered that he
is quite the Rocket League player.
Yeah.
Very talented.
I believed he is in
Grand Champ 1.
I think Grand Champion.
His peak was Grand Champ 3 though.
Right. So
which means that his peak was better than our current team captain's Fix Nico's like current rank. So that's pretty cool. So Dan will be playing tonight. And so that means we have an alternate. So Bulby will not be on for the Missouri State game. He will be acting as coach because our coach was unable to make it. However, when we do the next game, because tonight is a doubleheader up against somebody, once we find that out, it'll be Get Some Friends coming off to act as our coach, and we'll be going in to play with Dan and Fix Nico. So
later on, when we are finished with the Missouri State game, we'll be going up against Illinois State.
Illinois State?
Yes. So one state to the other. Anyway, we are going to go to a quick break before we get into the match itself. Noelle, do you have anything else for us?
All I gotta say is I'm really excited for tonight's match. I feel like we got a pretty good chance against Missouri State, especially with Dan and Fix Nico working together. I've been listening to them practice for the last week, and it's been there's been a complete vibe shift.
Yeah.
Like, this is excitement, but it feels confident, and it feels not cocky confident. I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm ready for a good match.
I couldn't agree more. All right, so we are going to be right back before we head into the game for this week of Rocket League for ISU. Take care. Stay tuned. And we are heading right back in. Oh, man. Noelle, how are you feeling about this?
I'm excited. I haven't seen... Oh, we are starting off heavy with a demolition.
That is so unfortunate.
That's insane.
Ooh, holy cow.
Oh, this is a really strong start already. This is... as I was going to say, sorry, as I got distracted by the demo. Phenomenal save by Fix Nico. We got the first phenomenal already. I'm going to try that again. I haven't seen Cowboy Dan play in action quite yet. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the team, and especially how he is able to sort of fit in with the already very obviously well-established team dynamic that they have been cultivating all year, all season. And honestly, it seems like it's working very well so far.
Absolutely. Cowboy Dan's playing amazing defense at the moment.
And I feel like it's... Oh, and there we go. We have one score to Missouri State against the Sycamores. I think that was more just... That was just quite literally one of the most perfect little scores. And they're just one of those things where you just can't help anything.
The added water drop really did just sort of sink it in.
I do love that. I love that. Oh,
and another score from MSU. Goodness me.
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow, but I feel like that might have been a lot of very I think that might have been an accidental own score by Cowboy Dan, which is always so unfortunate. But you know, this is I'm going to remind our viewers at home to give grace to this team, because I think this is the first time that they're like actually all playing together like in a game. Because last week during the makeup game that we did not stream, Dan played. However, Seth was not the one that played with him, so Get Some Friends was not the one to play with him. It was Bulby. So I feel like this is Get Some Friends' first time playing on like an actual match with Cowboy Dan, and this is the team synergy is slightly off, but I feel like it'll only get better and better as the game progresses. With, you know, Get Some Friends and Cowboy Dan kind of figuring out how to take on those defensive roles, with Fix Nico kind of hanging back and waiting for some action. That was a great block by Fix Nico right there, prevented the Missouri State Bears from Missouri State Bears, right?
Yes,
yeah, Bears. Missouri State Bears from scoring. Once again, another great block from Cowboy Dan. The Missouri State is really fighting for this. I can tell that they are really, really, really fighting for this. This is a big, big, big back and forth game. The issue is, once again, is that the Sycamores, their defense is on point. Their offense is lacking ever so slightly, which is so frustrating. And look at that, one more score from the Missouri State Bears to the Indiana State Sycamores. How are we feeling so far, Carter?
I mean, you're absolutely right that, you know, the Sycamores historically, I wouldn't say they're necessarily bad at one or the other. They definitely have pretty solid defense. But I do think the biggest challenge of Rocket League is finding that balance.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that is very, very difficult when you're managing another team against you as well, trying to figure out the exact same thing.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. I don't think that they're necessarily bad at either of them, but their strengths definitely lie within the defense, and they know how to play that card. Right now, there's a lot of sort of, you know, kind of fighting back and forth for that ball, trying to, like, just really vying to get it to the opponent's side, and Cowboy Dan is able to take it, but Spicy blocks it from the score, which is so hard to see always. He was so close.
That would have been a real easy goal right there if not have been blocked.
Yeah, that would have been so good. But Cowboy Dan was able to prevent the Bears from scoring in the Sycamores goal, which was great to see. I'm so happy that he was able to do that. Volt is taking it over, and he scores into the Sycamores goal, putting the Missouri State Bears up 4 with the Sycamores having nothing.
That's insanity right there.
That is insanity. With we have
94 seconds left, and I think it would be very difficult for the Sycamores right now to pull this off as a win. Now, it is good to keep in mind that This is a best of 3,
Yeah.
or sorry, best of 5, which means that whichever team gets to 3 match wins wins the game for the day.
Yep.
So do
Oh.
keep that in mind.
Oh, that rim. Always the secret 4th player.
Oh gosh.
Oh, just barely missed it. Oh, Cowboy
Ooh.
Dan with the save. That
Oh,
was a great
wonderful play.
Fix Nico just barely missed it, and Cowboy Dan saw that and, you know, helped his teammate. And look at that. Fix Nico scored. So now we have 1-4 with this Indiana State Sycamores having that 1 score, which is honestly all we ask for. We don't really ask for, you know, any miracles or anything crazy from the Sycamores. We just love to see it when somebody scores. We're always real excited about that.
That really felt good.
That felt really good.
Yeah, I don't know how you thought about that, Noel, but it certainly it was a nice slick play from Fix Nico.
And there was a great demolition that I missed with Get Some Friends. I didn't see that happen on screen. I just saw it pop up in the corner right there. But that was the perfect example of, you know, great teamwork. Cowboy Dan set up Fix Nico with that score just ever so perfectly. We have 30 seconds remaining in the game. Let's see if the Sycamores can keep... Oh, commentator's curse.
Another score by Volt. I believe they're 3rd in the match.
I believe. If we've counted correctly, Get Some Friends was just ever so slightly unable to block that. But no harm, no foul. Once again, reminding for the viewers at home, this is a best of 5 match, which is... you know, not terrible. And like we said earlier, it would have been very difficult for the Sycamores to come back from a 94-second down 4. But, you know, I will say one thing that has gotten better over the season for the Sycamores, which was one of my biggest gripes the whole year, was their absolute abuse of the boost pads and not saving their boosts the proper way. It was always my biggest gripe for the whole season, trying to keep that ball in the air since the time has run out. Demolition right there against Fix Nico, and MSU was able to pull through on this round.
Man, that was it's a bit of a demolition there. Feels like
It does, yeah.
A 5-1 loss. That is.
Not terrible.
Right.
It's not terrible. We have gotten so worse before. And once again, just reminding for the viewers at home and also Carter, like this is the first time that this team has played together in like an actual match. This team matchup right here with Get Some Friends, Fix Nico, and Cowboy Dan. And honestly, considering that they were able to keep MSU down to only 5 and they scored once, that I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad about that whatsoever, and I don't think the viewers should be either, quite frankly.
It's definitely a good viewpoint to have, especially when, you know, the Sycamores are at odds almost all the time.
Yeah.
The season thus far, you know, as we're nearing the end, it absolutely has had its low points, and
it has definitely been an uphill battle for the Sycamores, and the improvement over the entire season is crazy. I'm not gonna lie, but I feel like just looking back at like our first match and then going into this next match, which we are starting right now, I feel like the improvement is absolutely crazy. That meetup right there. I forget what that's called. Sorry. My brain is fried. I'm not going to lie. Oh, the rim able to save the Sycamores from scoring. Let's see if Fix Nico can block, and there he goes.
That could have been a devastating play in the first 20 seconds of the game.
And look at that. I am loving the rotations that the Sycamores are pulling right now, the cycling in and out of positions. It's very clean. This is the type of playing, the strategic sort of play style that I've been hoping to see from the Sycamores this entire season. I have wanted to see this because it makes the game interesting. Although, you know, Andrew from Missouri State was able to score it, then that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, the Sycamores aren't absolutely killing it with those cycles, you know. I would like to note that this is genuinely some of the best, like, cycling in and out in the rotations that I've seen from the Sycamores this entire season. Cowboy Dan able to meet that 50-50 and drive it over to the Missouri State side, but Volt able to take it. Let's see if Fix... Oh, Unfortunate. Andrew came out of nowhere to score once again for the Bears. That's got to hurt.
The Andrew and Vault wombo combo of just pressuring.
And Fix Nico is over there by himself. I'm assuming likely. Oh, and there goes Fix Nico, able to knock it over to the Bears' side and get some friends, able to keep it from going into that goal.
Very good save.
Let's see if Fix Nico can drive it into the goal. Unfortunately, where's Cowboy Dan? Where is Cowboy Dan?
Fix Nico was very close to getting that goal there. And now we see the ball back onto the Sycamore spot with a save from pretty much all of our boys in blue. All converging on the goal, just trying to make sure that the Bears can't breach their very fragile defenses.
That's true. And it's one of those things where, you know, normally I really disliked seeing, you know, like people trying to, you know, kind of like group after the ball. I can't remember what, but like bunch up around the ball. It's like one of my biggest pet peeves in any sort of sport, including esports, especially when it's, you know, a ball-based game like Rocket League. But at that moment right there, it would have been beneficial to have just one more person be able to help drive that ball into the goal. But right now, the Sycamores are fighting tooth and nail to keep that ball out of their goal. And Spicy.
Might be spicy.
Spicy. I'm assuming it's spicy. I can't read. Spicy, you know, tried to drive that back into that goal. But let's see if Fix Nico and Cowboy Dan can work together to get some friends, trying to hit that into the goal, and Volt stealing that ball out from underneath Fix Nico, preventing him from making that score. Cowboy Dan is chasing Volt, who is dribbling the ball mid-air. This is incredible playing from the Bears, and you know, I can see that the Sycamores are absolutely keeping up with them. It's just whether or not they're going to be able to gain the traction that they need to be able to score on the Bears.
Absolutely. It's extremely back and forth at the moment, and a little tantalizing, if I may say.
I agree with you, yeah.
Because it's so much of getting so close to the goal and then nothing happening. And
yeah.
Saves, goes around the rim, gets hit to the other side, back on the rim.
Oh.
And then saves galore.
I don't know who just blocked that. It might have been Get Some Friends. If so, good job. And Demolition. I can't tell. That was by Cowboy Dan. Demolition by Cowboy Dan.
Off the side of the stage.
Look at this go. Let's see if we can get this ball back over into the opponent's territory. We're riding that half field line. And I'm hoping and hoping and hoping that the Sycamores are able to drive this back into their thing. Unfortunately, nobody was there to guard the goal. But, you know, with about like 90-ish seconds, a little under 90 seconds left in the match, and considering the Bears have only scored 3 goals this entire round, when at this point in the match they had scored 4 and were right about to score their 5th, I'm not mad about this whatsoever. This is already tremendous improvement from the last round. A demolition on Fix Nico by Spicy. Oh, that was so close. Don't you just hate to see that?
Oh, with a save from the Bears. That would have been a great play from Get Some Friends.
Oh, and saved by the rim, unfortunately.
But to be immediately gotten back by Andrew. What was that about the commentator's curse?
Goodness.
I'm sorry. Has it passed on from me to Noel?
It can affect anybody, Carter.
This is true. This is true.
Affect anybody.
However, I will say I haven't had the commentator's curse on my butt in forever. At least
yeah.
I feel like.
Well, that's because you haven't commentated a ton, buddy.
I do Smash and Valorant.
It's hard to commentators curse that, respectfully. Anyway, focusing back on Rocket League, we have the fight of a lifetime trying to prevent a 5-0 score in this second game, and I can tell that the Sycamores are just desperately trying to keep that ball out of their goal. At this point, I don't even think it's about scoring anything. I think it's just literally trying to keep that ball out of their goal, which they were unfortunately unable to do. I'm going to shut up.
Another Volt score with the Splish Splash that was it's so disrespectful too.
I love that goal animation so much.
It sends a message of just like here.
It's just like, this is a drop in the bucket of however many scores I'm about to get in this game. Volt is really the MVP of this match. And look at that. Andrew, the second MVP of this match, able to score a 6th goal on the Sycamores.
Not even in the first 6 seconds of when the timer started once again.
I think if I could be talking very wrong, but I'm 85% sure that I just watched the Bears completely fake out the Sycamores. And I think that the Sycamores kind of fell for that trick and didn't anticipate that sort of a move, which is totally fine. You know, we're all human. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. But let's see if we can get a last-minute goal into the Bears' goal. I don't think it's going to happen. We're going to see if we can keep this ball up in the air as soon as the minute runs over. But I think just as they were about to score one extra goal on us, MSU was able to pull through.
This
is rough. All MSU needs is one more thing, and they've won.
One more win?
One more win, yeah. Sorry. My brain is so fried. It's been such a long week, and it's only Tuesday.
One of my favorite Twitter accounts is this comic strip of Tintin, and the captain just says, "What a week it's been." And then Tintin says to him, "Captain, it's Wednesday."
I'm like that too on Wednesdays sometimes. I'm just like, I can't even.
Like, what a week it's been. It's like, we're not even halfway through, and I completely understand that. First things I'm noticing right off the bat, I think we need a big change up here as we go into this next and possibly final round. Because I certainly don't want to see the Missouri State Bears take this win, especially on today would not be, yes, on our second to last day of streaming Rocket League.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. Next week is our final week of esports period, and we are only streaming Rocket League too. And
that's so sad.
That one is going to sting.
That's going to hurt.
We are at the very end
of the
Missouri Valley Conference.
This is crazy. Sorry. I just realized I'm going to have so much free time after this season is over.
Heading back into the game right now.
Oh, goodness. All right. Starting out with Volt being able to push that into the Sycamore's side. I literally just had my world rocked. I didn't realize that we were that close to the end. And oh, goodness.
With the
8 seconds into the probably final game. That's crazy.
That was absolute menace. 8 seconds.
8 seconds. That's insane. Let's see if the Sycamores can come back from that. That's got to be a hit to the ego. And where is Fix Nico? Where did he go? Oh, that was so close. Get Some Friends really trying. And a demolition on Get Some Friends by Volt. Cowboy Dan trying to drive that into the goal. I am floored right now. I am floored. This is insanity. The absolute desperate attempts to keep this ball out of their net. Fix Nico trying to guard that, play goalie a little bit, trying to guard that net about as much as he can, and Fix Nico able to hit it over there, but there's no support. Where is the support from his teammates? Where are the teammates at, Carter? Where is everybody?
They just seem to be really split right now as they try and communicate with each other of who's covering what.
Yeah.
And not really sticking to any specific roles here.
Where did that cyclical rotation go that was in the first match? Where did that go?
Good save from Fix and Nico as they try and guide the ball to the goal. However, I do think they need to watch their tails. As we've seen very, very closely, the Missouri State Bears do tend to shut down a lot of shots.
They do. They are able to play that defense really well, which is, once again, as we said earlier, the Sycamores are absolutely able to play defense very, very well. It's just whether or not they have the ability to match that offense and get around Missouri State's defense that is currently happening. That was a great save by Cowboy Dan, trying to keep that ball out, and he did that successfully. And Fix Nico, once again, great save, great block by Fix Nico on the Sycamore's goal. Another great block by Fix Nico, and unfortunately Spicy was able to put that ball into the net. Everybody over at the desk is very upset. I heard somebody hit the desk. I think it was Fix Nico. I think it was Dane. I'm not going to lie. Which is frustrating, obviously.
I was going to say, going from scoring in the first 8 seconds to the first 2 minutes of the round, definitely a change of pace now that we see the Sycamores obviously affected by that first point.
That I think genuinely that was literally just like the luckiest goal in Rocket League history. I'm going to be so for real.
And
it was just so perfect for the Bears.
A lot of Rocket League games.
And look at that. Volt able to score once again right after Spicy was able to. We are now 3-0 in this final round. How are we feeling, Carter? How are we feeling about this?
I want to see some change-ups. I think there needs to be more synergy between these players. Especially with this new teammates. I think right now there is a misbalance between exactly who is in what kind of role, and it's a lot of making up on the spot.
Able to score once again. I am inclined to agree with you once again. Like, team synergy is just kind of off, which is completely understandable because these players haven't really played together all that much. I know that Fix Nico and Cowboy Dan have played together quite a bit, but you know that's only 2 out of that 3 needed, and it's definitely difficult to try to figure out how to find that team synergy, especially during your first game and towards the end of such a long and hard uphill battle sort of season, especially when somebody like Cowboy Dan, who, at this current moment, I believe is a Grand Champ 1 rank, it's just, this is insane. And obviously MSU has very talented and skilled players, and, look at that, Volt being able to score once more with 2 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock.
Getting a matter of 3 points in 50 seconds is absolute madness.
That is insane. That's absolutely crazy.
More so than the Bears have been able to do for this entire night.
I think that the Sycamores are starting to get a little tired of it. They're getting a little worn down, which is completely understandable. We really need them to pull that back in. And Cowboy Dan able to score on the Bears. There it is. That was great plays by the Sycamores. He completely confused MSU with the assist by Get Some Friends.
Simple,
great,
clean.
That was perfect.
It was wonderful.
Can we see that 4 more times, please? Tie it up.
Oh man, wouldn't that
Fix
just be
Nico? That would be great. Cowboy Dan guarding up that net right there, and them the Bears trying to drive that back into the Sycamores' goal, and unfortunately being able to with Volt. I'm gonna stop.
This is
a hard score, 6-1, with 1:52 left.
I'm
wondering how much damage the Bears can do during this last game.
Maybe not so much of a miracle would help us get back from this, but definitely, I'll restate that, a miracle. As it is now 1-7, and that was just a straight shot.
Yeah, that was
into the goal.
I love the Sycamores, but I think at this point they're starting to give up a little bit, which is completely understandable. I'm hoping that maybe we can see a Get Some Friends score tonight at least.
And what?
Once again.
2 in a row, straight from the first hit of the game. 2 in a row, right into the goal.
Yeah.
That is absolute madness.
Yeah, this is crazy. Cowboy Dan really trying to fight for that ball just to see if we can get one more score. That way the deficit isn't quite as big. But Andrew able to just push it right into that thing, right into that goal. That's rough. This is rough. This is a rough state for them to be in right now.
We're
1-9
a massacre right now. I mean,
there's no way to spin this. There's no way to spin this. This is hard to watch for Sycamore fans everywhere. A demolition on Fix Nico by Spicy, trying to keep one of their best players away from the goal. I feel like, the Bears are able to recognize that now and have started to take steps to prevent these people from getting anywhere near the ball. Kind of leaving Get Some Friends to kind of take care of it himself, which is frustrating, obviously, if you're just by yourself trying to rock this ball into the into your opponent's net. It's just not working. Fix Nico able to block it away from the Sycamores' goal, as I can't remember who that was. I think it was Andrew trying to dribble it into the net. Let's see if we can get a score. Once again, I'm lobbying for a Get Some Friends score at least once tonight. And since this is the only game that he is playing in, it's got to happen in the next 56 seconds. That's all I want.
So when we move to our game against Illinois State, do keep in mind that we will actually be switching out our own Get Some Friends back with Bulby Blue.
Yes.
Something to keep in mind. That means Fix Nico and Cowboy Dan are both staying when we move on to Illinois State in the next match.
That rim absolutely saved the Sycamores from getting, once again, another score on them. That was so lucky. Thank you, Rim. And look at that. Look at that. We are 11-1. There is a 10-point deficit. How are we doing over there, Carter?
I do believe that this is the most a team has won against us. If not the second highest, Valparaiso in the past may have done so before. And
12-1.
Yeah, as you said before, there's really no twisting this.
There's no twisting this. This is, I can tell that the Sycamores, they've just kind of, which is okay, you know, this is getting to one of the last games of the season, you know, as soon as you get over a certain point value, you're just kind of doing this for funsies. So, which is fine. I'm totally down for that. But yeah, 30 seconds remaining. There's really not much that can happen here. There's literally no way for the Sycamores to come back from this, but that's okay. We're just going to, you know, watch. We have another game after this against Illinois State. The ISUs once against each other, Indiana State versus Illinois State. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
I'm excited for that game.
I certainly hope that we can assert ourselves as the better ISU.
I think we can. Let's see if we can keep them from scoring one more goal on us. Let's keep that ball up in the air. And look at that.
That could have been more
devastating.
Worse, despite that 11-point lead. And unfortunately, this does mean the Missouri State Bears have won for this match.
That's hard. That's rough.
That is rough. We have only been streaming, or at least for the game, we've only been streaming for 27 minutes. And
sounds about right.
They won the match.
Yep.
They won the day.
Yep. That's a roughin'. That's a roughin'. That's all I got. Yeah. That's all I got. That's a roughin'. It's unfortunate. I will say, you know, going into the postgame, you know, just talking about, like, you know, I really wish that they had kept that cyclical, you know, kind of movement rotation into those next two games. I think that the second game was probably the best performance from the Sycamores that we've seen.
Absolutely.
During at least this match.
I felt like they were a lot more controlled. You can kind of see that.
Yeah, they were controlled. They had a strategy down, and they were ready to go. And then I think the third game, that those first two scores, that first score within the first 8 seconds, just kind of threw them for a loop.
And
then just once again, just keep it. Just kept. It literally, they just got run around in circles.
That is unfortunate. So
there goes Tanner.
That will be our post game. Or did Tanner just walk by?
Yeah, Tanner just walked through.
I did not
the
process
camera.
any of that.
There's Tanner.
Anyway,
Tanner. I think Tanner forgot that was there. It's fine.
Anyway, that will conclude our post game for this match.
Yep.
And the next time you see us will either be the pregame for Illinois State or just head right into the game for Illinois State. Depends on how quickly we can get in contact with them and set up the lobby and everything like that.
Yep.
But other than that, thank you, Missouri State, for playing. And stay tuned when we come back for the Illinois State match.
Yep.
Stay tuned.
And we are back, and things have changed significantly.
Hi there.
Seth is on the stream. I think this is your first time on a Rocket League stream.
First up, because I've been playing the rest of the time.
He plays Rocket League. He was switched out for Bulby Blue, which means that we now have Cowboy Dan, Fix Nico, and Bulby Blue up on the stage for this match against Illinois State. Seth, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I'll just make the announcement now. I think those last 3 games that I just played were my last collegiate Rocket League matches.
That is true.
Cowboy Dan taking over.
But that just means that I get to drag him onto stuff next year?
No, absolutely. I'll be here every week of next year,
I'm literally just going to drag him into this.
No, I'm a part of this now. This is great. I'm going to be doing like student manager stuff because I'll tell you a secret of everybody in this room. I think I know the rule book the best.
You do.
I read it like 6 times.
You do. I know it kind of, but not really. I know enough. I know what affects this. Anyway, not what we're talking about. How do you feel about our chances against Illinois State?
You know, seeing how we played them last time, it was a bit of a jumble of a mess.
Yeah.
Cowboy Dan taking over last week and like kind of taking over a leadership position and teaching everybody some new tricks.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good things here, and I think there's a lot of potential. And I think the first and second game we just played against Missouri State were really good.
Yeah.
And even though we lost by still a pretty significant amount, it was a crazy jump from the last time we played Missouri State.
Yep.
I honestly don't know how Illinois State's going to go. I think it could go either way.
I feel like, honestly, this matchup specifically with Bulby Blue, Fix Nico, and Cowboy Dan all on the same team, I think that everybody's strengths really complement each other's weaknesses, so I feel like this is a very well-rounded team. Feel free to like correct me on that, but like I feel like everybody's like this is a very well-rounded out match, and I'm excited to see how that will go up against the probably improved Illinois State's roster, Illinois State's team. You know, since they've been going throughout the season, I'm excited to see what happens. I mean, love you, but literally anything has to be better than with the last game that we just watched.
No, that was rough.
That was me and Carter were sitting over here, and I was like, I don't know how to spend this. This is bad.
No, it was, as a player, that was hard to sit through.
Yeah.
Those last 2 minutes, I was just like, can we get on with this,
can
please?
Can we
just keep it out of our net for 2 straight minutes. That's all I'm asking. No, this team has great chemistry now. I think Dan has found a way to get Nico and Bulby kind of on the right track and what they need to do better.
Yeah.
And already just in this past week, I've seen Bulby improve a lot.
Yep.
I haven't been playing a ton with Nico recently, so I can't really say any specifics about him, but I know he's been working on a lot of different things that he's kind of realized that he needs to focus on. And I think that will come out in today's game.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're going to go ahead and go to a quick break, and then when we come back, we are going to go into the game. Once again, we have Seth Berquist on play-by-play, not me anymore. I took this spot, and Carter is over there somewhere. So we will see you guys here in a few minutes, hopefully, and we will be back with the game. Stay tuned. And we are going straight into the game. Here we are. Go ahead and take it over, Seth.
Absolutely. We got Dan running in the corner here. Looks like Scythe trying to get a little bit of a double tap off the wall there. Flash with a perfect center. Bolby, thank you for the save. Nico going to try and go over the half line. Dan on the backup. A lot of passing coming from MSU. You could definitely tell that the team chemistry there has been built up over a few semesters now.
That's very true. I would like to say that during the last game, once again, the Sycamores, you played the game, so I'm going to say this for people who may have just now joined. The last game, the Sycamores were really, they had a really good rotation and cyclical kind of movement strategy going on for the first game, but then it kind of faltered a little bit, so I'm hoping that they're able to keep that up this second game here. Sith, unfortunately, scoring on the Sycamores.
Yeah, I think Bolby had a little bit of trouble realizing when he had to turn and go for the save. Rule of thumb is if there's somebody else back by the net, just go ahead and go for the push. And if you don't get it, then the person behind you will.
Love that.
MSU is going to take the kickoff on this one as well. Looks
Illinois
like
State. We're not playing Missouri anymore.
We're not playing Missouri State
anymore. I was like, I wonder if he's going to catch it.
Brain is broken. Thank you for correcting me.
You're welcome.
CG tried to go for a wall shot, didn't get enough boost on there. Bolby going for the clear. Scythe is going to be the one to pick up that pass. Nico going to dump it into the corner. CG gets a clear out of that. Scythe going for the shot. What a save by Cowboy Dan.
These are the movements that I've been waiting to see from the Sycamores right here. This team synergy. I'm so excited about it.
Scythe leaving it wide open for Nico, who's going to tie up the game for the Sycamores, capitalizing on the smallest of mistakes, knowing exactly where he needs to be.
I was right. I was right to be excited about this team matchup. I was so excited. I've literally been so excited about this the entire night. I'm just so ready to see this happen. And obviously, I was right to feel that way. This is thrilling.
Cowboy Dan going to go for a little catch there. Gets a 50 from Scythe. CG going to try and go off the wall, make a small little play out of it. He's making the pass. Flash not going to get the shot off. CG going to try and go back for a center. Cowboy Dan there to try and kick it to the other side. Nico going for the clear is going to be successful. He can follow it up and make a play out of it. Bolby looking for the backup. He's going to get flown over. CG, oh, they went for the pinch on net. It's not going to work. Cowboy Dan not able to make the save, though. And Illinois State will take the lead back.
Oh, once again, better position than we were in the last game, considering that, once again, Fix Nico was able to score, and we still have about 3 minutes left in this round. This is not a terrible place for the Sycamores to be, and definitely somewhere that they can come back from absolutely with a win.
Bolby going to get forced to commit to a push there. Successful. Dan's going to be able to catch it. Tries and goes for a pass, but Flash is going to be the one to catch it. He's going to go off the wall, leaving it for a teammate, bumping in front of the net. Scythe goes for the shot. Double tap, not successful. Cowboy Dan going for a ground pinch. Has to drop it to a teammate. Looks like Flash is going to be the only one there. He's going to go for a wall shot. He's got enough boost. The pass to Scythe. Up off ceiling. Bolby goes for the clear. Met with a 50 from CG. Sycamore is still struggling to get it out of their own half. As Flash dumps that one back in. Scythe goes for the shot. It's off the wall. No teammate there to back him up. But Flash is able to take it away from Cowboy Dan. Goes off wall, tries to center it for a teammate. Nico not going to be able to make a save. Dan just pushes it out enough.
I think this is some of the most back and forth gameplay that I've seen this entire time, and it's really exciting because, you know, obviously everybody on this field is really, really hoping for one of these wins, especially being towards the end of the season. Unfortunately, Sith able to score.
Cross-field flip reset. And that's something that I can confidently say that the Sycamores have been trying to work on, is knowing he went up quite early, and you know he's just going to want to fly that thing all the way across field. So you have to go up and meet him as early as you can and not let him get as much control in the air.
Yeah, and that's definitely one of those things where you got to make sure that those boost pads are being used regularly and kind of stingily almost. And that's something that one of my biggest gripes with the Sycamore team has been all year was the boost pad usage.
Not able to read the shots there. CG, after faking out two defenders, able to clean it up.
This is semi-off topic. That goal animation was so cool.
Yeah, it's a fun little goal explosion.
Sorry, I got so excited about that. It looks like a lotus flower. this isn't, once again, I would like to reiterate, this isn't a terrible place for the Sycamores to be in. This is something that they can definitely come back from. You know, the 1-4 with the Illinois State Redbirds leading. But, you know, this is all about how the Sycamores are going to choose to play their defense and offense kind of bouncing back and forth. Right now, they really, really, really need to pull out some of that iconic Sycamore defense.
Nico scrambles for a save there, luckily able to get it, but he didn't have enough boost to try and clear. Still doesn't, but he's met with CG, who's going to air dribble it towards the net, met with Cowboy Dan for the 50, and Scythe, after the ball sits in front of the net, takes matters into his own hands. Score goes 5-1 with a minute left in this one.
Oofta, this hurts. This hurts a little bit as a Sycamore fan. You know, everybody at home, I'm sure that you're probably sitting here like, oh, this is a repeat of what happened last time. And I'm inclined to agree with you. I'm not going to lie. But I feel like this is a bit different than it was last time because, you know, I feel like the synergy among the team is absolutely better than it was last time. This is no hate to you, Seth, whatsoever. I just know that, you know, Bulby and Cowboy Dan and Fix Nico have been able to play before in a match together. And so I think that they absolutely have that on their side, which is something that, you know, the team that played the last game didn't necessarily have. And once again, as I say that, Fix Nico able to score on the Redbirds.
Nico takes on his second goal, and, you know, he's just taking on that role of if I see an open net, I'm going to shoot at it. Luckily, Cowboy Dan able to get that center.
Look at that. That was beautiful. I feel like we need to clip that. Oh, 30 seconds remaining on the clock. This is a bit of a nail-biter, but once again, this deficit, the difference between the scores is not terrible. This is not a terrible place for the Sycamores to be at, and I'm not even mad right now. We scored twice. We scored twice.
Dan almost went for a goal all on his own there. Looks like Illinois State has some team chemistry here, trying to make a play last second. Sycamores could possibly hit the buzzer beater here. He lets control go into the hands of CG, but he dumps it into the corner, passes Bulby, and the ball hits the ground. Sad final. Sad final. That's only game one.
That is only game one.
This
is, once again, a best 3 out of 5, so we still have 2 more, possibly more, if the Sycamores are able to win this next round or something else. I mean, that wasn't a terrible start to the game.
No, and, like, I don't want to point fingers, but, like, just seeing there was a lot of forward momentum with Cowboy Dan and Fix Nico, right? And I think Bulby Blue, like, this is his first game of the night. I don't think he got enough of a warm-up.
Yeah.
He wasn't as eager to try and get into that offensive zone, right?
Yeah.
And you can kind of see that in his stats. He only had 1 save, no goals, assists, or shots. If you're not shooting at all during a game, there's something that needs to happen differently in the rotation. And you need to adapt to the fact that this is a much faster-paced game than what you're typically going to see. So be ready for those passes. As soon as you hit the ball, don't be eager to immediately rotate out to your back half. Like, wait up front, see if you can get a pass. And that's how plays are going to happen.
Yeah.
So if Bulby can adapt to that, I think the Sycamores have a better shot in the second game.
I think we need to give him a bit of a doubt because, once again, he didn't really have much of a warm-up in between games.
No, of course.
And, you know, but we're going to see if that holds any weight going into this second game. Let's hope that Bulby is able to pull through. Ooh.
Scythe automatically goes for the double tap pass. Luckily, Dan is able to knock him out of the play, and he's going to have to reset. Ball still in the air in front of the Sycamore net. Nico and Bulby almost double commit there. Luckily, Nico's going to be there to try and go for a center. Flash blocks off the pass, and it's going to be Scythe 1v2ing, and Cowboy Dan's going to be able to make the save after Bulby gets demoed. Flash still in front of the net, tries to finish the play. Good save by Cowboy Dan. Scythe on the open net, and a slight save by Bulby. Nico goes for the clear so the team can get boost. CG going to make a pass there for Scythe. Illinois State clearly knowing where their teammates are. Flash going to let it go back into his own zone. His team has no boost right now. They need to make a play. Bolby going to try and go up for a center. Nico's going to be the one to center. The shot from Cowboy Dan, and the Sycamores have the lead.
Look at that. A minute something in, a minute and 7 in, right?
Yep.
Something, if I did math right. Minute and 7 in, Cowboy Dan able to get that score. That goal animation is perfection. I get to mention that last time.
We were training with it earlier, and I was like, every time you score on me, I love it. It's fantastic.
I laughed in my little head. I was like, oh, that's funny. Yeah, that was absolutely great. And I need to see more of that from the Sycamores, that phenomenal team synergy. It's my only phenomenal usage of the night, sorry. My bad. Had to point that out.
CG making a wide open pass. There's Flash to try and finish it with the battle bus, and not going to go through. Scythe trying to go for a double tap, kicked away by Nico. CG tries to make a center, but nobody's going to be there to finish it. Scythe tries to continue, and it is not successful. He's going to knock it into his own zone for CG. Scythe going to go for an air dribble. Unsuccessful.
This is an absolutely crazy, once again, back and forth game and a fight on both teams' parts. I need to stop talking. I just need this happened last time. I just need to stop talking.
You know, he had a pretty impressive air dribble. I think he was kind of handed that goal. Just an unlucky spot for Bolby to be in.
Yeah.
There was game's still tied up. Only 3 minutes. Like, anything could happen at this point.
I'm not mad about that. Yeah, no, Bolby was definitely, it was just kind of one of those situations where you can't really do much about that unless you're like a god. So like, you know, I'm not uber worried about this, quite frankly.
Oh, wow. Nico bumped Flash into that play so he would hit the crossbar, but he was still there to hit it a second time. So unfortunate. Just an unlucky play for the Sycamores yet again. You know, it's all just positional at this point.
Yep. And I will say that is something that the Sycamores over the entire season have gotten significantly better at, is keeping those positions and making sure that everybody is where they need to be so that, you know, the goal is covered, or if they decide to make a push towards the opponent's goal, they're able to make that. And Bolby scoring. Go Bolby.
Bolby ties it up. Honestly, like, you notice that the net's not covered and Scythe is too far forward. You just make a Hail Mary and just go for the goal. Luckily, he got it, and the game's all tied up.
Needs to go in his highlight reel for real. Oh, it was great.
So Bolby's going to be in charge of this, but CG is going to try and make the pass. Nico's going to go for the clear, and the Sycamore's trying to make a play out of this. Flash is going to be the one to try and start a play for Illinois State. Air dribbles over Bolby, goes for the ground pinch. Nico going to be the one to clear with the demo. Scythe going to catch, and Cowboy Dan faking the defense. Save made by Bolby, but the ball's still in front of the net. Dan 50s with Flash. It's still there. Nico and Bolby work together to make a clear happen. CG is going to go for the double tap, kicked away by Dan. Scythe going for yet another one. Goes off the crossbar. Dan goes for a clear, met with CG. Flash goes for another double tap. Yet again, kicked away by the significant defense of Dan.
This is, once again, in crazy back and forth play. Both of these teams want it so badly. And I think that everybody is pretty well evenly matched skills-wise, and both teams are keeping up their positional awareness, and unfortunately, just going to shut up. You
know, those double taps are something that you don't really see in an everyday game. That angle is quite incredible to hit. Not something that you hit 100% of the time for sure. I got to give it to Flash. That was pretty impressive, especially to do with the battle bus of all vehicles.
Explain to me why it is so impressive to do it with the battle bus.
You know, hitboxes are different with every car.
Yes.
And the battle bus is just massive. That thing is just a brick.
Okay.
There's no shape to it. So, like, trying to do finesse little hits and stuff like that aren't as easy when you're driving around
a square
in a tank. Yeah.
That's understandable. Ruh-roh. And a score by Cowboy Dan.
Incredible play. Dan goes for the shot, follows it up with great defense. Bolby takes out the defender with a demo, and the Sycamores tie it. We are tied up with just over 60 seconds to go in this game.
This is the team I've been waiting for all season. This is so exciting. If we can keep this game tied and potentially maybe go into overtime, I'm not going to say anything. We could maybe I can see somebody's waiting at the goal.
Flash going to find a wide open net there on just a slacking Sycamore defense.
Don't hit me.
Not hitting you.
The cold chill that ran through my body when that happened.
Dan's in charge of the kickoff for the Sycamores on this one. Gets a lucky little chip out of it. A pinch from Illinois State. Goes all the way to the back wall. He might be able to hit the double tap and not quite. Cowboy Dan's going to try and carry this one across. He's not going to be able to. Nico goes for the clear. It's going to be left in the hands of Bolby, who goes for the center pass. Nico met with Scythe. Scythe kicks that one into the corner for a teammate. Dan able to make the clear. CG going to be able to back it up. Him and Flash are going to make a pass play. And CG kicks that still in the center. Here comes Flash.
Oh.
Bolby able to get a demo out of it. Smart defense to know where the pass was going. Nico making a pass. It's possible the Sycamores hit the buzzer. They hit it off back wall and not going to be able to succeed. Just at the end, the Sycamores almost threw it together.
That is so frustrating. But honestly, a phenomenal game nevertheless. I used a second phenomenal.
It's 2. We need a counter. Can we put one up here? Can we change the green screen?
It's only 2. It's only 2. It's only 2. It's only 2. Better than the past. But that really was a great game by the Sycamores. Quite frankly, you know, two scores from Cowboy Dan and a score from Fix. No,
Bolby.
Bolby.
It was Bolby. I will say, I feel like Bolby heard me talking crap a little bit over here.
Perhaps.
Because he immediately knew, he was like, okay, this is my time to shine. He got demos where they mattered to help Cowboy Dan score.
Yeah.
He got demos back in the backfield so that there was nobody to shoot on the open net.
I have to say, I love Bolby as a defense player. I have the whole season. He's a really, really, really great defense player, and Fix Nico and Cowboy Dan going together into those offense plays. And Fix Nico, honestly, how many assists did he have, or how many saves? What did Fix
Nico had
do?
2 assists and a save, so he's still putting up great numbers. Like, he may not be scoring, but scoring goals is not all that matters in this game.
Exactly. That's like, you know, it's important to look at those stats at the end of each game. But yeah, Fix Nico, while he may not be necessarily the show pony of the Sycamores at the moment, when he has been in the past, I think that he's a really great support for the new show pony, Cowboy Dan. And we are going to see that once again in action going into this third game. Third game.
Nico got a wide open net, and the Sycamores taking an early lead 8 seconds in. Poor positioning from Illinois State. Sycamores need to capitalize on that every single time. You could tell 0 people in the backfield for Illinois State.
Yep. Those were poor decisions made by the Redbirds, unfortunately, and they paid the price for it. Let's see if they continue to make those mistakes going into this next round, next whatever. My brain is so tired. I'm fried. Everything's...
Some corner passing happening here from Illinois State. Nobody there to follow it up. Illinois State's getting caught sleeping a couple times here. Bolby going up for some defense. Double commit, unsuccessful, but the shot is whiffed. And Dan is able to make a small clear. Still some poor defensive positioning there. Luckily, Bolby able to get a touch. Still doesn't have much boost, though. And there's the shot from Scythe. Dan with no boost and trips over the corner of the goal. Ties the game.
That is unfortunate. But once again, we have 4 minutes and 16 seconds left in the game, and we are tied up at the moment. The Sycamores were able to score 8 seconds into this round, and I feel something about the Sycamores. Keep it real neutral here.
Nico going to start a clear there. Flash going to try and go for the Psycho, and it's successful.
That was crazy. That was... I honestly... From your viewpoint here, obviously, because you know this game a little bit better than I do, was there anything the Sycamores could have done to prevent that from happening?
Not at all.
Exactly.
No, not at all.
I was like, there's really nothing.
That's called a Psycho when you flip your car on its underside, and then you let the ball bounce off of you, and it helps the ball pick up a little bit of speed.
I see. I see. Yeah.
Quite impressive, and there's no way they could have predicted that Flash was going to pull something off like that. Yet again, with the battle bus, of all things. It's just not something you see.
I think that this is going to be Seth's Roman Empire, is how Flash from the Illinois State Redbirds is able to pull off all of these finessed moves with the battle bus.
Absolutely. I'm going to research his hitbox as soon as this is over.
Oh, goodness. This is
Cowboy Dan trying to go for a center here. Scythe able to pull off some defense. He wants to make a play all by himself. Go an air dribble cross field, trying to get met with Bolby. The team pinch does not work. Flash in the corner now, trying to make a pass. He's going to leave a flip reset pass for CG, who is not quite in positioning, so he'll just go for the air dribble. Leaves a pass off for Scythe. Crazy save by Cowboy Dan.
Beautiful. Honestly, that was... I love it. Okay, sorry. Carter just did something weird.
Carter's making hand signals. I don't know what's going on.
We don't have the teleprompter up right now, so okay. Thank you, Dad. I don't know what that was. Anyway.
Cowboy Dan and Nico going to try and make a play here. Met with Flash for the 50. Bolby's going to be able to follow it up, go for the center. It's possible, but good defense from Illinois State. Bolby not able to get the touch on it to try and keep the play alive. Scythe doesn't have any boost.
These teams are just so evenly matched once again, as I said. So this back and forth really is what I expected, quite frankly, going into this game. I was not expecting really either team to be blown out of the water by the other. And I think that right now the Sycamores have gotten into a perfect groove, or a near perfect groove, of just like knowing where the other players are at in relation to each other and being able to anticipate Illinois State's moves.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could see that Illinois State feels comfortable with all three guys in the offensive half. Even with such a little boost, they just feel like they're so confident in making these plays. Here comes Flash from deep, not going to be able to score as he is met by Bolby. Cowboy Dan trying to go for a bounce pass there. Nobody to back him up. Scythe going to leave it wide open. Cowboy Dan able to kick it away. CG going for a pinch pass. Nico's going to be able to stop that one from going in front of the net. Bolby leaves it wide open for Flash, who doesn't get quite the right angle on it. CG is met with Nico. Scythe now trying to go for the cross-field air dribble. Is he going to pull it off? There's one reset. He leaves the pass off for CG. He's going to be met by Cowboy Dan. Successful 50. Flash for the rebound, and he flips right over it for Cowboy Dan to clear. Cowboy Dan with an open net. It's possible Scythe is going to make the save on that one with 60 seconds left. Last chance for the Sycamores to stay alive in this match.
This is such a precarious position for the Sycamores to be in, because they could potentially be able to put this game into overtime with just the right moves, and it seems as though they're really going to do their best to get to that point. But the Redbirds are really, really, really putting up quite the fight, trying to position each other to make, good scores and the perfect passes and whatever. But the Sycamores are sort of the underdog here, and they're really putting together that scrappy defense that we all know that they're well known for, that somehow works perfectly. And
last 15 seconds here. It's going to be Dan going for a dribble, not going to be successful. Scythe kicks it into the corner, trying to kill time for these last 5 seconds. Scythe looking for the pass here, kicks it back out to his own zone, trying to keep away from the Sycamores. It's in the air. All they have to do is knock it down. There's the knockdown. CG off the wall, and the Sycamores fall in 3 to the Illinois State Redbirds.
Honestly, that score is not a terrible score to have. 2-1. 2-1.
It's not bad at all.
That's not bad whatsoever.
No.
I'm not mad about that. Honestly, I feel like that was a good game for the Sycamores, not necessarily in terms of stats. The stats aren't very impressive, but that's because they didn't really give the Redbirds a chance to get, really close to their net in too many situations. It was a lot of middle of the field play and a lot of like on the edge and on the boundary. And I think that is something that you don't really see often when you're watching the Sycamores go up against somebody. And I feel like I really enjoyed watching that, quite frankly. That was something that I enjoyed.
No, they've figured out passing a lot and like knowing where each other are, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of trying to get just one step further in collegiate Rocket League is knowing exactly where your teammates are on the field so you can make those passes. You saw Illinois State throughout all 3 games making passes to their own back half when nobody had boost so they could give themselves time to go grab that boost. And I think the Sycamores are going to start learning a little bit more on like how they pick up on that. And
Yep.
yeah.
We're going to go to a quick break really quickly because I don't know what's going on. Something's going on.
Okay.
We're going to go to a quick break. We will
Sounds
be
great.
right back so that I can organize myself. See you guys soon. Stay tuned. And welcome back. Apparently I can't count. So that's what that was. We already played 3 games.
We already did.
I wholeheartedly would have put down money that we had only played 2. That only felt like 2. All right. Seth, from your point of view, how do you think the Sycamores did tonight?
You know, I'm very pleased. You know, this team has been in I can't even really call it a rebuild. It's been a build, okay? This is the first one that we've had in Indiana State history. And we're up at the end of the season now. The only time you're going to see this team again is in the playoffs.
Yep.
And this is very promising for the future of this team and what this team could be next year. Honestly, I'm a little sad that I don't get to be a part of it now.
You'll still be here.
I'm still going to be here. I'm going to be on the
still-
camera with all you people at home because this is fun for me to talk about. I could talk about this for days.
I don't think you guys understand how excited I am to have him on the camera because that means that I don't have to do that. And I can do this. Or Carter can do this. Somebody else can. Carter's not going to be here next year. Oh, Carter's not going to be here next year. Duck in, Carter.
Duck in, Carter. We love you, Carter.
No, I'm going to be here in the middle.
Oh, he's going to be here.
Okay, Carter's going to
We're gonna
just
scoot up.
sit here.
Anyway, yeah. So I feel like tonight was a really interesting game. You know, all the commentators here at the end. How do everybody
This is so
thumbs up? Thumbs up. He's gone. Okay, he's gonna leave. He
There
was
he
like,
goes.
"This is too
There he
awkward."
goes.
Yeah, no, I absolutely am going to agree with you that this is really promising for the next year. I am thrilled with how tonight turned out, though. That was, you know, really close games for everybody. We got to see, once again, like I talked about in the pregame, that this specific, you know, matchup of Fix Nico, Cowboy Dan, and Bulby, they're well-rounded and they know how to support each other's weaknesses and how to emphasize each other's strengths.
No, and having somebody like Dan, who's like honestly one of the best at what he does. Like we're looking at like top 0.5% in the world
Yeah.
at Rocket League. Being able to come in and analyze both Bulby and Nico and say, here's priorities 1, 2, and 3 on what you need to improve on, is especially in the off season. The way it looks right now, we don't have any guarantees yet, but this team isn't going to be playing collegiate matches again until February.
Yeah. They have time to build and practice and prepare and refine all of their strategies. And I'm excited to see what they're able to do next year.
No, and all the hard work they're going to put in, I have a feeling you're going to see all 3 of these players again with a couple new ones. But I think
Fingers crossed.
I think these 3 are going to look very similar to what we saw from Illinois State going into early next year, which only means more improvement going into the end of next year. I know I'm looking incredibly far into the future, but just knowing, like, remembering where I was when I first met Dane in November and seeing I've gone up 2 ranks since I've met Dane, and Bulby's gone up 2 ranks since he's met Dane. this is a special type of chemistry that I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of promise here.
Yeah, that is very true. And honestly, all things considered, just with Dan and Dane and Bulby having only played an actual match one other time, and like that was what was able to come of it, and like they already have that sort of natural chemistry with each other is insane. And that just means that as they continue to play and as they continue to get better, they are going to become, I dare say, borderline unstoppable, quite frankly.
They're going to be a force to be reckoned with. I can definitely promise that. In terms of today, there's always room for improvement. This is the best 2 games that I think this team has played probably all year. Because I think that maybe these guys have found like a newfound love for Rocket League. I have a feeling that like they sat down and like I've never seen so much joy on Nico's face.
He's glowing right now. He's leaving, but he's glowing.
We love you, Nico.
But yeah, so with that, unless you have anything else to say, Seth.
Roll trees.
Roll trees. Roll trees. I'm going to go ahead and cut us out of here a little bit earlier than expected, quite frankly. Tomorrow night, we will be doing our last Smash Bros. Stream of the season, and that is also going to be Carter Seifert's last stream, period. So that's crazy, quite frankly.
I remember passing this whole esports broadcasting thing off to Carter back in like August and like talking about what this was going to look like.
Yeah.
And this beautiful nameplate down here and
remember,
all of the overlays and things.
I remember Seth looked at me. Seth looked at me. He was like, "I'm so excited to be done with this." This
honestly,
like
it's a stressful position as somebody who was like the first unofficial one to do it.
And as somebody who is the first unofficial assistant and the first official assistant, I can second that. It's so stressful.
It's I have a lot of respect for Carter for being able to do this night after night after night.
Yeah. But with that being said, once again, come back tomorrow night for our last Smash Bros. Stream. It'll be me on color, Carter on play-by-play. And I know last week the Smash team was able to pull through a win with 1 stock left, which was insane. But yeah, I will see you guys tonight. I've been Noah Callahan.
Seth Berquist.
And we will see you guys later. Have a great night. Stay warm and hydrate.